right. Good morning. The introduction of crazy, I love it. It's the best way to get on stage. I think, we all are a little crazy. This early in the morning is actually really cool to be on stage because you kind of set the tone for the rest of the day. So today, I thought I would do something a little bit different. It's early in the morning. There's so much technology and there's so many information out there. So I'm going to keep it a little bit on the lighter side. My name is Romeo Durscher. I'm the Director of Education at DJI. And in case you don't know, DJI is a manufacturer of commercial drones, and it's the largest manufacturer. It started out as being a manufacturer of the brain of the drone, the flight controller, and then the drone just happened to get built around it. So thanks to the experiences we've gotten through the flight controller, we were really able to do an amazing product with the Phantom, the Inspire, the Spreading Wings series. But not only that, we also figured out a really good way to stabilize the camera in the sky that we can also now use on the ground. So, a little bit about DJI. Why is DJI the leader in hardware technology? Well, it's an easy-to-use product, the accessibility and the affordability, and that really leads into DJI. About me. All right, so this is a beautiful picture from space of your beautiful country, and I think I see the county right there. I used to work at NASA, and at NASA, we do STEM outreach, science, technology, engineering, and math. But there is one component missing, and that component, I am now so happy that I can incorporate that at DJI, and that is the A for arts. We cannot forget the arts in this equation, because art is science and science is art, and using technology like drones can really allow us to be creative, not only on the ground, but also in the air. So, STEAM outreach is the new STEM. A little bit about me. I did my first drone in 2013, February 3rd, I believe it was. And I realized, wow, I actually look pretty cool from the air. I look even better when I'm on a place or on a rock where you would not get the perspective otherwise. And that's me and my friend there, and you can see how huge this wave is. But even cooler is if you do a panorama and you're in it. So this is a droney pano. I love all these terms. So I fell in love with creating aerial images. And if you believe the media, I have done it all. A picture of me ended up on the AP and is being used in all kinds of really crazy stories, like a German court throws out case by family of slain Yemenis. And there's a picture of me. Drone knocks one woman unconscious at Seattle Pride Parade. And there's a picture of me. I am actually waiting for the day I'm at the Dublin airport and this 5-year-old boy looks at me and goes, "Mommy, it's the bad drone guy." Drone attack survivors take their story to Washington. It's me flying an Inspire. Media has a big influence over how this industry is being looked at. This one I love because I am being portrayed as a teenager. It's not too bad. Now here, this one I did Photoshop because there is only one picture suitable for the headline of "Drone follows woman from bar, crashes into her car." Me flying on an Inspire. So my point in this is it's all fun and games until my picture ends up on all these stories and it's not so fun anymore. So we have media representatives in here and we have a lot of ambassadors in here. The way we portray the technology really has a direct impact how society looks at us. And I really don't want to be seen in the media as the bad guy. I'd rather want to be the good guy. Now, speaking of good guys and media, drone terrifies pilots. So why are they sold at Newark Airport? Wait a second. This is probably the safest place to actually sell a drone because who would go outside onto tarmac and fly a drone? What airheads? JFK drone sales. So that's the John F. Kennedy Airport in New York. When I hear of the word airheads, I think of candy or of a 1990 movie. But selling a drone in an airport, to me, is not a stupid thing. Oh, yeah, it's getting really crowded out there. I actually wish if I looked out the window I could see this, because I would be amazed. Again, this is the way we see the technology. Now, granted, there are a lot of incidents that can raise concerns, but then if we analyze those incidents, it turns out not all of them were drone related, and not all of them were hobbyists. There were actually drone events that were reported that were caused by a government drone or drones. Imagine that. Man charged in Great America Tower drone strike. We gotta avoid these kind of headlines. This is really not good for anyone. I truly did not do this. Oh my God. Well, in this case, this guy really didn't do what he was accused of, and he was accused of being a peeping Tom outside a hospital when he really wasn't. But again, the media has such a big impact on how we see this technology. So now, let's go to a great story that we did with media. And I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to take you on a journey to a place where you would least expect seeing a drone, and that is underneath Earth, inside the world's largest cave in central Vietnam. But first, why is education so key? Well, I'm really happy to see that DJI puts a lot of effort into educating not only the new pilot or the new customer on safe behavior, but also changing public perception, educating industry. Very, very key, because now we have technology that can help businesses in many different ways. This one I really like because I think you know the guy. Well, not me, the other one. That was last year, and it was a true honor, but working with government and helping government to realize what can the technology do and what can it not do is really a key component of education. And then getting the hardware and the software into the hands of students, that creates the next generation of scientists and researchers and explorers and artists. How are you flying now? Well, 75% of the people, they're social butterflies, and they use what they're creating on social media channels. That's pretty amazing, because we all love to see aerial images. And everywhere, would you take your drone where you go with you? Well, in my case, yes. For the first time in 3 years, last month, I did a trip without a drone. It was kind of cool because I didn't have to carry much, but I missed something. A new perspective. So what is this technology being used for? Well, 42% use it for aerial photo and video. They look at these images and they get inspired. And of course, we all want to kind of show off what we do in the sky. So a lot of people just want to do it so they can upload something. Now, let's get on a journey. And let's get on a journey to that place, the hidden world of Sondong. So what we had to do is ABC Good Morning America called. And if you don't know, ABC Good Morning America is a morning TV show in the United States. And they wanted to do something that had never been done before. And so we had to go on a survey trip. And we had to go from San Francisco over to Vietnam. And then we went into the central area of Vietnam, a place called Phong Nha Ke Bang National Park. And we were greeted there by lovely people that were super excited that we came to this place with technology that they had never seen before, drone technology. This was the team of the survey trip, me on the far left or right, depending on how you look at it, and then people from ABC Good Morning America, and we had somebody from the Vietnamese government chaperone us around because they weren't quite sure what to make out of all of this. This is exactly how I had envisioned Vietnam to be. Absolutely stunning. And just flying a little bit over the ground, it gives you a completely different perspective. Now, we had porters that helped us carry all the equipment deep into the jungle, which I was really, really happy they were so keen on carrying all my drones. Made my life so much easier. This is the engineer from ABC Good Morning America, and he is looking for a satellite because what we wanted to do was a live broadcast by using a drone, flying inside the cave, and sending the footage live to the other side of the world. That's crazy, isn't it? So this is the third largest cave in the world, Hangin, and this ended up being our base. That's actually also the place where we ended up doing our businesses. So it's not all fun and games, and it's not very luxurious. You sometimes have to get over yourself, but there's always a peeping Tom in your toilet. And this little fella, I put my headlight back and I turned around and I heard this plopping sound. And he was gone. And I looked in the bucket and he was there. I was gone right after that. So here we're leaving Hangin and heading out now to Sondong. Now, Sondong is the world's largest cave. It is so humongous, you have absolutely no way of comprehending the size. And sometimes you have to use people to put in your shots so you can actually figure out the scale. The light in the background is a dough line. 300 meters above the ground of the cave, there's an opening in the ceiling letting in the daylight. This is the second dough line. This is an even bigger opening in the cave, and in fact, below there is a huge jungle inside a cave. And I'm just about to take my Inspire out for a spin. All right, a couple weeks later, we decided we can do that live broadcast. So we went back to Vietnam, this time with a little bit of a bigger team. And, well, let's take a quick look here.
We've already taken you inside a volcano erupting.
Oh my gosh, you can see it!
But now, for the first time, fly with us inside a spectacular new discovery so mammoth, you could probably fly a 747 inside. So we're flying in with drones, an epic live event inside a breathtaking hidden world buried beneath a jungle. This has never happened on live TV, and we're even swimming with 20 million jellyfish in the Pacific.
This is unbelievable.
Next week, see the world's new wonders live on Good Morning America.
All right, so this was the promo that ran while we were getting ready for the actual live broadcast. And we were actually really enjoying the surrounding. I took the advantage of having a couple days or a couple hours to myself doing some aerial images, and then it was time to get all of this equipment, over 100 cases, into that jungle. On the drone side, I decided to take 4 Inspires and 3 Phantom 3s with me because I wanted to have redundancy. Flying in a cave is difficult enough. The heat, the water, the moisture, the sand, all adds to the complexity. So I didn't want to lose my machines and have nothing available for a live broadcast. Luckily, we didn't need any of the spare machines. This time, we were able to fly in an Mi-17 Russian helicopter into the jungle, an amazing machine. And what was even cooler was we had almost the entire town come out and not only watch us fly drones, but watch this helicopter take off. All right, so here we're back inside Hangin, and this is what it looked like on the day of the live broadcast. So we built a little town inside Hangin with tents, and it really looked beautiful. All the lights had to be installed to light up this humongous cavern. Our engineers were on the outside drinking beer. I still don't know how they managed to get beer to that location. Now we're going inside Sondong. It's this huge descent into this cave, and we have a cameraman on the ground, and we're flying the drone, and this is what the drone saw. Up, you see the light that comes in from the opening. We had to descend into this cave, and this is a view that you cannot get any other way than by drone. What I did learn is, even though Sondong is the world's largest cave, there are areas where we barely fit through. But there is also something physics that I learned. It doesn't matter how hard you push. Sometimes a case just will not fit through an opening. Life inside Sondong is like a different world. It has its own weather system. So there's fog and there are clouds. And it's just a different environment. It's so beautiful, but so subdued in a way as well. And what we ended up doing was constantly charging batteries. We had a couple power generators, and when you use drones, you go through a lot of batteries. So charging batteries was something we did every day. Now, this is the dough line I was telling you about, and this is a view nobody has ever had. We flew straight out of the dough line. pointing the camera back down to see what it looks like, and that's the view. That dough line also lets sunlight in, and so putting a person on top of this humongous stalagmite just creates a view that's just breathtaking. This is the cavern. So you can see the sunlight come in. Our host, Ginger G, is standing on top of this humongous stalagmite. Now, inside the cave, you have no satellite reception. There's no GPS. There are winds that make you drift to all kinds of different areas that you don't, or maybe don't want to be in. And so this is one of the shots we took. We have one of the Inspires close up to her, and I'm circling around Ginger just to get both in the shot. And you can see how cloudy it becomes down there. The fog comes and goes. It's just fascinating. After every flight, our machines were drenched, they were wet, and we had sand in the motors. We had pretty much everything you don't want to happen to your machines happening. But, you take good care of your machine and everything flies the next morning again. Now here, Ferdinand is flying his Inspire. Ferdinand, in my opinion, is the world's best drone pilot. He's out in Germany, wonderful guy. He never sweats, unlike me. I was constantly drenched, and he always looked at me and in his big German accent would say, "What's wrong with you?" It's just so hot and humid in there. This is the second dough line here, looking straight down. This is called a vertical pano, where you look down in the bottom of the image, but then when you go up with your eyes, you look at the horizon. This opening is as big as two 747 airplanes parked next to each other. And you can see the jungle that grows inside that opening. They have species in there that they don't see on the outside of that hole. It's just fascinating. Now, when you do a live broadcast, every cable has to be connected to the right place. It's not an easy task. And in this case, we had one challenge. This is about 5 minutes before we went live. We quickly flew out of the cave, and we saw that this thundercloud was rolling in. And we had 3 channels available on the satellite link, one for the drone, one for the handheld camera, and one for communications with the studio. Well, this storm took out the communications channel. So we were, in essence, flying blind. What do you do? Well, you keep your machine up as long as possible and come back, change batteries, and go right back up again. So we never quite knew when we were online. All right, so I'm going to show you just a quick movie of what we created. I decided to do this because the technology is amazing, and it can do things that just a year ago, when we were all here, we couldn't do. And this hopefully is inspiring to you to see that this technology has a huge impact on many, many areas, not just entertainment, but many other real important areas. So enjoy this couple-minute video, and thank you. We are in central Vietnam, just outside of the hidden world of Son Doong. Son Doong is the world's largest cave system, and what we're doing here is we're writing TV history. Together with an ABC Good Morning America team and their engineers, we will be live broadcasting out of the hidden world of Son Doong. We actually flew into the jungle by means of a helicopter because we had so much equipment. At times, we could see long lines of porters carrying equipment, food, power generators, cables through the thick brush, across rivers and down into the cave. We had to continue to cross rivers, trek through the jungle, rappel down walls, and make our ways through very narrow areas of the cave. All of this in very high humidity with constant mist in the air and very dusty conditions. At times, it was pitch black dark inside the caves. We had to be careful. Every step had to be carefully planned as there were cliffs and very sharp rocks. Then we trekked through the first cave, the Hangin cave, which became, in essence, our home base.
George, I am way down here. From the perspective you can see me, about 400 feet below the top of one of the world's largest caverns. It is inside a mountain, inside a jungle in central Vietnam. And this, I have to be honest with you, has been one of, or the, I would say, most difficult, dangerous, and grittiest assignments I have ever been a part of. We've been staying in these tents, we've been cooking over fires. This, again, is very remote. We are not close to any civilization. This is brand new to our world, this subterranean, surreal life that has been revealed, and now you get to be a part of it.
Inside the Son Dong cave, there are two areas that have a big, huge hole in the ceiling, about 300 feet above. Those are called dough lines. And we've been using the DJI Inspire 1 as well as the Phantom 3 to see what kind of footage we could get flying inside those massive caves, and both have performed flawlessly.
The focus of the trip was to get aerial footage from inside the world's largest cave. However, flying in a cave introduces a lot of challenges, such as no GPS reception. The caves are big enough to create their own climate zones, including clouds and fog, so conditions changed constantly. We faced temperatures as high as 40 degrees Celsius and extreme humidity up to 95%. Because of the gigantic dimensions of the caves, our depth perception was very limited. Therefore, we had to rely solely on our line of sight and the live view from the camera.
The environment was pretty harsh with the humidity, the water, sand and dust. But the equipment performed flawlessly. Teamwork and working with equipment that provides the capabilities that we needed to do this has been the key in making this a successful event.